Hey guys, okay, so this is Wednesday the 18th work, period 2 on Wednesday morning we did this. I'm going to attempt to type this as we go, so bear with me because typing maths is not easy. I would not recommend it, but we'll see how we go. Okay, we're going to solve this first equation. Now, it's very important that you get rid of the weakest number, the loneliest number, the one all by itself, okay? It's always the easiest one to get rid of. So in this case, the 2 and the 3 are both divided by the 5. So they're not just a 2 or a 3 at the moment. And of course, this 2 is all mixed up with the x. So the easiest thing to get rid of at the moment is this number 5 here on the bottom, okay? This equation is, all of this on the top is divided by 5. So the opposite of dividing by 5 is, of course, timesing by 5. So we are going to multiply this side by 5, and we are going to do the same to the other side, because whatever we do to one side, you all know we have to do to the other. Okay, so we're going to times this by 5, and we're going to times the other side by 5. All right, what does that do for us? Well, it gets rid of this 5. Now, it's really hard for me to cross this out. Those 5s are gone now, okay? And I'm just left with this bit here on the top. I'm just left with 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3 is equal to, okay, on the other side, I've got 5 times 5 is 25. Now, this equation I'm sure you can all solve. The next easiest number to get rid of, the next loneliest number, okay, the one all by itself is, of course, this number 3 here. So what is the opposite of minusing 3? And it is adding 3. So we are going to add 3 to the first side, and we are going to add 3 to the second side, and that will get rid of my numbers 3. I might actually write that 3 underneath the 3. All right, so add 3 gets rid of this 3. And on the next line, we are left with just the 2x. 2x equals 25 plus 3 gives me 28. 2x equals 28. To get rid of this 2, we're going to divide by 2. I know I'm going through this quickly, but I know you know how to do this part now. So get rid of that times by 2, we're going to divide by 2. And obviously, if we divide that side by 2, we're going to divide the other side by 2 as well. All right, so that gets rid of my 2's here. Cross them out. And I'm just left with x equals, and 28 divided by 2 is 14. There's my answer. Okay, took us 3 steps to solve because there's 3 numbers we have to get rid of. We have to get rid of the 5 and the 3 and the 2. Okay, and in that order is very important. We have to get rid of the weakest number, the loneliest number. Okay, pick on the weakest one. I know that sounds really mean, but that's essentially what we're doing. All right, let's come over here and do B, this next question. Okay, the difference here is on this first one, we got rid of the 5 because the whole thing was over the 5. So that 5 was easy to get rid of. Here, we're not going to get rid of this 10 just because it's on the bottom, because we've actually got this plus 4 sitting over there all by itself. Okay, so this plus 4 needs to be dealt with before we can deal with the 10. So how do we get rid of a plus 4? We are going to subtract 4. So let's minus 4 from this side. This is going to be really difficult for me to type. Minus 4 from this side, and let's minus 4 from the other side. Okay. All right. Now that will leave me with this 4x over 10 because the 4's are going to disappear. Okay, so I've got 4x over 10 on the left-hand side equals, what's on the other side? 6 take away 4 gives me 2. Okay. All right. Now, I've got 4x over 10. How do I get rid of a times 10? Sorry, how do I get rid of a divide 10? I'm going to multiply. So we're going to multiply both sides by 10. If I multiply both sides by 10, that will get rid of the 10 on this side. And sorry, this is really difficult to type. So times 10 and times 10. Now that gets rid of these two 10s, so you can cross those out. And on the first side, we are left with just the 4x. And on the second side, 2 lots of 10 gives me 20. Equals 20. Okay, 4x equals 20. We are then going to divide by 4 to get rid of my 4. So we're going to divide both sides by 4. That will get rid of the 4. Yes, I know that says 2. I'm just copying and pasting here. Divide by 4, divide by 4. And that leaves me with x equals 20 divided by 4 is 5. So that's my answer. All right, so x equals 5. Okay. All right, next one. Oh, this one only has 2 numbers to get rid of. That's nice of it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we need to get rid of this 10 on the bottom because everything here on the top is divided by 10. Okay, we can't add 6 yet to get rid of this 6 because that's not just a 6. That is a 6 over 10. All right, so the first thing we need to do is we need to multiply both sides by 10. So times 10 on this side and times 10 on the other side. All right, that will get rid of my 10s here. And I am left with just the x minus 6 on the top. Equals. Okay, it's a negative 2, so minus 2 times 10 is going to give me minus 20. Then I'm going to get rid of this minus 6. How do we get rid of a minus 6? And of course, you all know that we are going to add 6. So plus 6 to this side. If we add 6 to that side, we're going to add 6 to the other side. That will get rid of these 6's, and I'm just left with x equals minus 20 plus 6 gives me minus 14. All right, excellent. Last question. I'm actually going to move this one because it's going to make it easier if I type it down here. Okay, so last question. 9 take away 4x over 7 equals 5. All right, I want you to look at this and decide what is the loneliest number? What's the weakest number, the one that's easiest to get rid of? Well, the 4 and the 7 are both tied up here with this x and its fraction. Okay, so this 9 sitting all by itself. Now, don't be fooled, this is not a negative 9. Okay, it's a positive 9. This negative belongs to this term, 4x over 7. Okay, but the 9 is a positive. There's no sign in front of it, which means it's a positive 9. So the way to get rid of that 9 is actually to subtract it from both sides. So we're going to subtract 9 from this side, and we're going to subtract 9 from the other side. Okay? All right, that will get rid of the 9's. Now that's going to leave me with all of this here. Whoops, undo that. Sorry, press the wrong button. That's going to leave me with minus 4x over 7. Okay? Equals 5 take away 9 is minus 4. All right, now we're going to get rid of this 7 next because it's on the bottom and I don't want it there, basically. So opposite of dividing by 7 is timesing by 7. Now I'm not just going to times by 7 because I'm going to kill 2 birds with the 1 stone, and I'm going to times both sides by minus 7. Because if I times both sides by minus 7, that will actually get rid of this 7 and it will get rid of the minus. Because a minus times another minus will make this whole side positive, okay? And ultimately I want my x to be positive. So I'm going to actually multiply both sides by a negative 7. All right, so times this one by 7, my minus 7, times this side by minus 7. Now that only leaves me with the 4x. Because the 7's gone and the minus is gone, so I'm just left on this side with 4x. Okay, 4x equals, what's on the other side? Minus 4 times minus 7 is going to be positive 28. Because a minus times a minus is a plus. All right, this is looking pretty simple now. 4x is equal to 28. So let's divide both sides by 4 to get rid of our 4. So divide by 4 and divide by 4. If I could type fast, that'd be amazing. That gets rid of my 4's. You can cross them out. And then you're simply left with x equals 28 divided by 4 is 7. All right, and there's our answer. Okay, so that's our equations with fractions. You guys now need to do me set 5 questions, which are these ones, and set 5 homework, set 5 learning log. Have fun.